Good evening, Southeast Texas. Hope you're doing a lot better than we were just 12 hours ago. And unfortunately, we've got another round of the potential for freezing rain across the area. And I think it may start maybe after about 3, 4, or 5 o'clock in the morning. And it could affect portions of the triangle northwards on through the lakes area. We'll wait a few more minutes to let everybody join in and watch. But got some new model data that's showing some things, some pluses and minuses as far as who's going to get what. And the big issue right now that I won't say has me concerned, but the biggest uncertainty is up towards the lakes area and then into the triangle. And that's because we don't know how far south that freezing rain will go. I think it's going to be along the I-10 corridor, maybe a little further south of there. And it's because of all the temperatures, the cold temperatures that we've seen last 24 to 36, 48 hours across Southeast Texas. And you have to remember that a lot of the bridges and overpasses, anything that's elevated, is still got ice on them. And so that's all refreezing tonight. And you start adding rain on top of that, you could have additional glaze form over those bridges and overpasses, compounding the problems that we saw this morning. We did get above freezing, and that helped some things out this afternoon with the sun. But the big issue is tomorrow morning. And then up towards the lakes area. I'm talking Tyler, northern Jasper, northern Newton counties. If you don't go above freezing tomorrow, then the amounts that we have forecast at 2/10, maybe a quarter of an inch, then we've got, we may be underdone as far as that goes, and that we could see actually more freezing rain and ice accumulations up there right now. That's the biggest headache right now, and the most uncertain part of the forecast. I don't think it's going to be a big ice storm here in the triangle per se, but I do think we could see some freezing rain along the I-10 corridor until we finally start warming up. First off, let's take a look at the Winter Storm Severity Index. This basically gives you an idea, a rough idea, what to expect. Obviously, more of a moderate impact over towards Huntsville, Grimes County, and portions of Polk County. That's not far from Tyler County, by the way. And that means moderate impacts, orange. That means often threatening to life and property. Some damage unavoidable, typically results in disruptions to daily life. Otherwise, limited impacts from the lakes area down towards the I-10 corridor, and minor impacts up towards northern Tyler, northern Jasper, northern Newton County. So this is just a quick index to tell you, what are we expecting as far as impacts. Otherwise, watches and warnings have not changed since earlier. Still up towards Tyler County, northern Jasper, northern Newton counties are under a winter storm warning at this point. Now, could we see a winter weather advisory for southern Jasper, southern Newton, and maybe Hardin County? That's possible. We don't issue those warnings, by the way, or advisories. That's done by the National Weather Service. And of course, we've got the hard freeze warning. We're going to see that again tomorrow night, too. All right, this is a rough idea of what we can expect. And I am just very wary of not including at least a little bit of freezing rain, especially northern portions of the triangle along the I-10 corridor. Why? Well, we didn't get much above freezing today. And those bridges and elevated roadways, any overpasses, they may still be around freezing. Okay, so you start adding rain, then that could refreeze and become a light glaze for a few hours in the morning before that we start warming up sufficiently. So again, in white, it's over my shoulder, you can see a few hundredths may not do it. But I'm just a little not worrisome, but I think this is prudent from the ice that's still visible on those bridges and overpasses. So from Beaumont back to Vidor and Orange and down towards maybe Hampshire Fannett. Now remember, well, we'll get to that in just a second. Now for inland Southeast Texas, what I'm calling inland Southeast Texas is Hardin County, southern Jasper, southern Newton. Maybe less than 1/10 to 1/10 of an inch of accumulating ice. So we're talking Kirbyville, Buna, Evadale, Silsbee, Lumberton, Kuntz, Votaw, Warren, maybe Fredensburger. This could still change as far as these gradients. You go further to the north, and you start getting into trouble. This is the biggest, this is the area, I think it's a done deal as far as freezing rain, accumulating freezing rain. This 2/10 of an inch, again, we may have to increase that chance or the amounts up that way. It all depends on when you change over to rain. If you don't, then it's going to be a serious situation. That's worst case scenario. Best case scenario, this all moves off to the north and we just get very minor amounts. What's going to happen is we're going to see a coastal low, and that's going to lob rain our way out of the Gulf of Mexico, and then that system coming in from the north. So that's what we're looking at right now. Could these change up and down further north? Absolutely. But this is a rough estimate at this point from what I'm seeing. Current temperatures, not much above freezing, and they are those temperatures are forecast to head on into the 20s tonight. Nothing on radar right now. But again, look at the storm up into North Texas, rotating around, and we are watching this off over towards Junction into Ozona, south of San Angelo. That's headed in towards East Texas, and this is all due to an upper level storm system. Lots of winter storm warnings, not as much as we saw a couple days ago, but as you can see, all of Arkansas, northern Louisiana, most of Oklahoma, and most of the eastern 2/3 of Texas under a winter storm warning. Here's one model. I'm going to show you three, okay? That way you can get ideas back and forth as far as the pros and cons in each. So we'll put this into motion, and it does show along I-10. This is the HER model showing a little bit of freezing rain along I-10 by 3 o'clock in the morning. This is fast. This model is fast. And you can see pink means freezing rain and or sleet up in the lakes area. Then as we head towards 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, we may transition to rain here in the triangle. Freezing rain and sleet ongoing, Buna, inland southeast Texas, and all freezing rain and sleet in the lakes area. Hopefully this begins transitioning to rain in through inland southeast Texas and then moves on off. Now here's the deal. In the triangle, we measure temperature. We'll get to that in just a second. Sorry, apologize. Here's another model. 1035, way too fast. Nothing on radar right now. So I don't think it's going to be here at 1035. Regardless, it shows snow all the way down into Beaumont with freezing rain along the coastline. I think it's a little extreme since it's earlier. That's what I think is going to happen. I like this at a different time, maybe towards, say, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll agree with that timing. You can throw that first part that I just showed you away. I agree with this. I think we'll see rain along the coastline, freezing rain along the I-10 corridor, and freezing rain all towards the lakes area. We'll just advance this towards maybe 5 in the morning. Notice how this all transitions to a rain as we head on into the afternoon hours. So I don't like the beginning of that, but I like the end. So we'll put this into motion, and this is showing us temperatures staying right at freezing here in the triangle and in the 20s. It's warmed. And this shows the activity moving in at 7 a.m. So we may be at 34 here in Beaumont, Vidor, Orange. That's at 6 feet above the ground. What's going to be the temperature down on the ground as far as those bridges and overpasses that have ice and snow and have been below freezing for 24 hours? That's why I'm concerned. I think that, yeah, we may have rain come down, but then what happens when it hits the ground? Ice is what I'm thinking, at least along the I-10 corridor. Freezing rain up in the lakes. Now, hopefully by 9 a.m., we transition to a rain and start warming that ground up. And between 9 and noon, maybe just afternoon, inland sections of southeast Texas, Hardin, southern Jasper, southern Newton counties, start transitioning to rain and get rid of the freezing rain. Freezing rain still ongoing with ice pellets up towards the lakes area. There's 3 p.m. Still ice coming down and developing. It never really does change. This model never really does change the lakes area over to rain and keeps freezing rain ongoing. That's the most concerning part of that. If that happens, then this could be a third, a half an inch of ice accumulations up there. That's probably the worst case scenario. So I'm not going to change anything except for maybe seeing elevated temperatures in the triangle. We may go up as we head towards sunrise, but still it's not so much the temperature at where we measure it at 6 feet, but it's what's going on the ground, at the surface, on those bridges and overpasses. Otherwise, you know, trees, they're going to get ice on them even here on I-10. So that's what I'm thinking. Then tomorrow, hopefully everything and everybody changes over to a rain, and then a hard freeze expected coming up on Friday, and we warm things up to spring-like temperatures as we head on in towards, say, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. That's the very latest, and now we'll take your questions.
Just people asking, when will we be above freezing tomorrow?
Well, it depends on where you are. If you're in the triangle, it may be daybreak, because I think we'll go down as we head towards 2 o'clock in the morning, and then temperatures may actually go up. But that's not what we're concerned about. It's what's going on the ground and on trees and on power lines and on elevated features like overpasses and bridges. What's their temperature going to be? Lakes area may not get above freeze until after 3 p.m., if at all. So that's kind of the timeline of that. Any further questions?
Just about ice on roads, and I guess those are kind of related.
Yeah, that's the big problem right now is what are the temperatures of power lines and trees and bridges and overpasses? That is what is concerning. Now, it may say 34 in Beaumont or in Orange, but the ground temperature may be, you know, 30 degrees, and that's good enough for creating ice once you got rain coming down, and once that rain hits the surface, then it could flash freeze right on the ground and on rooftops and cars and, you know, everything that's below freezing, we'll see that glaze develop. Any other questions?
Some repeats, a lot of people asking about power and things like that, water, but we have all that information on our website.
Yeah, exactly, and that's pretty much out of my purview, so. I try to do weather, so me speculating on what the water department's going to do or what energy's going to do, I'll let them do that. And
when will we start seeing like warmer temperatures again?
Oh, that's, well, we may see temperatures warmer temperatures by Friday. Let me see if I can get back to this 7-day forecast. We ought to start really warming up. Let's see, I'm fast forwarding through my show. Yeah, by Friday well, it's still going to be a chilly sunshine, but Saturday we're near 60, and by Sunday, Monday, temperatures in the afternoon could get mid to upper 60s, maybe 70 by Tuesday. So.
That's about it for questions, and
okay.
We're having some choppy video here, so might be a good time to stop it.
Okay. Well, I hope this helped a little bit, and we'll have some more data coming up tonight at 10. Join us then. Stay safe, Southeast Texas.